On today's Wealth Wednesday, we're discussing how to create and stick to a budget when you're living paycheck to paycheck. And that could be anything, whether you're on a fixed income or living off your retirement. We want to discuss ways that we can all budget smart.
I love this. We want to bring in our money expert, Makisha Booth, with some tips. Now, what's the first thing to prioritize when you are creating that budget?
Yeah, so the obvious thing is the essentials first. You want to make sure your rent and your groceries and those things that you can't live without are covered, that you really have a sense of what that monthly number is and that it fits within your paycheck. That's the ground rule. Like, start there so that life is less stressful and you have a place to stay and food to eat. But then from there, you want to move into a couple of things. Like, the two things that kind of tamper with paycheck to paycheck like drama are like discretionary spending and seasonal spending. And so discretionary is just, I saw something I want, sometimes can be impulsive, but seasonal is like, you know, the kids are going to need supplies during school. You know that Halloween is going to come around and you need to get a costume. You know that you're going to have to get tires in the winter. And so if you can get ahead of that and make your 2025 list of seasonal spending and then start putting away in a savings account 10, 20, 40, whatever you can do every other week. And then in 2025, as those things come up, you're not pulling from the paycheck, you're pulling from that account where discretionary and seasonal spending lives.
You know, and seasonal spending, I mean, it should be prioritized, right? Because we all have to deal with it. Your kids are all going to need the things, and, you know, as the year progresses. But I do want to ask you about saving, because there was a long period of my life I was living paycheck to paycheck and I never saved a dime. I was like, I can't. I've got, you know, I've just got to survive to the next 2 weeks. But there's got to be a way, right?
Yeah, just a little bit at a time. Like, even if you can only start at $10 a week or $10 every paycheck and then forget about it. Like, that's the big thing. You have to forget that money is there. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Like, that cannot be on the table for anything unless it's an emergency or something very specific until you get it to a certain amount. And then you set a budget for how often you can dip into it for discretionary stuff.
Makisha, what about a fun budget? Can we have like a vacation fun budget? Because, you know, a lot of us, especially here in America, we work really hard. And at the end of the day, we want to reward ourselves. Can we pull a little something to have that as well?
I think so. You know, back in the day, my grandparents used to call it like the clubs. So like the Christmas club or the summer club, like putting money away for those different things. And so absolutely, I think the key is to get ahead of it. Like, the money problems that come that you're not expecting or that you're not paying attention to are the most stressful. But if you can get ahead of it and make the list and put the money aside for when you want to dip into funds and have a separate card for access to that pot, and like leave your essentials money in one space with one card and just don't touch that. And then the paycheck lifestyle can be a little bit less stressful.
But you do need to separate those things and compartmentalize.
Absolutely. If you have an issue with cash flow and overdrafts or anything, then it's time to separate.
Okay.
Good advice. Very good advice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Makisha. We appreciate you.